Let's get it. Mic check 1 2 1 2. In here, coming to you live, streaming live on the free Odyssey at 1019 FM 660 AM. Making sure I got my live stream camera up. They can see me, yes. Keith McPherson on the fan, another KM to AM, another quick one. And I thought tonight was going to be a super quick one because the rain delay happened out in Missouri. I'm like, oh, I'm about to have a 40-minute show. But that was one of the quickest rain delays ever. And the Yankees make quick work of the Royals, sweeping the season series, not losing a game to those bums. ALDS rematch, no contest. Don't tell me anything else about Bobby Witt Jr. Don't tell me anything else about Bubich or Seth Lugo or Cameron or any of those guys, man. I'm not worried about them when October comes. And that's something that I do want to talk about tonight. October is going to come, but we can't jump there today. You guys get so impatient. The back and forth, the measuring between fan bases is so corny. It's June. Just enjoy June. Enjoy your team. Can we go to our own corners, Yankee fans, Met fans, and enjoy the success of our teams independently? No, we never can. We never can. Because there's always this back and forth created because, one side is always trying to, get their lick back from the other. I feel like the Met fan, some Mets fans, and I always got to add that caveat, some Mets fans, not generalize all Mets fans, but there are some Met fans that now that the Mets are on a 6-game win streak, the Mets are in first place, best record in baseball. They've got a good lead in for it has nothing to do with the Yankees, but since the Mets, right, and the Mets haven't struggled all year, but since the Mets were Juan Soto was struggling and the Mets lost to the Yankees, that was almost a month ago. You realize that the Subway Series was almost a month ago. Can we just enjoy having two good baseball teams? No, we can't. It doesn't always have to be about, oh, well, Juan Soto's doing it now. What do you say now? Who cares, bro? Yankee fans do not care about Juan Soto like that. We got our pound of flesh. Right? Do y'all realize that? It's been months. Juan Soto decided to be a Met in November? We circled May 16th. We already did the Subway Series. It's just super corny to hear all the back and forth. And people at me, I'm not even on that, bro. I was trying to get a haircut, go see my mom today, went back down to the shore area, go home. I'm getting hit up with I'm getting trolled and stuff about the Mets and Juan Soto and how good the Mets. I'm like, good. I don't hate the Mets. These are my Mets. Congratulations. Let's talk about the Mets. They sweep the Nationals as they're supposed to, the third place team in their division, a team that's 8 games under 500. You're supposed to sweep those bums. Happy Jeff McNeil can't stop homering. Brandon Nimmo can't stop homering. Good. Great. And you know what today was? Grimace's birthday. And June is the Mets month. You got Grimace's birthday, and I think yesterday was Steve Cohen's birthday. Enjoy that. Enjoy all the festivities going on at Citi Field in Flushing without thinking about Yankee fans. 888-808-1019. I'm sure there's some Met fans that are we're not thinking about you. But there are some Met fans that are oh, Subway Series, just pump the brakes. It's June. Both of these teams are going to look a lot different. Some guys are going to get hurt. Oh, speaking of guys getting hurt, just when you do want to ride high, just when you do want to talk about how great and how realistic it is with the Mets, Kodai Senga goes down. And I thought it was a weird omen because Grimace's birthday, and when you think about the Grimace Mets, the Grimettes, and the Grimace Purple Power and all that last year, Kodai Senga wasn't a part of that. And this little injury, I don't think is going to slow down the Mets at all because we saw them last year not need Kodai Senga. Yeah, he comes back, he pitches in the postseason, barely helps. But they've got options. Obviously, they have Griffin Canning, David Peterson, Clay Holmes, Tyler McGill, Paul Blackburn. But you do have Frankie Montas on the way back and Sean Manaea on the way back. And what I think this will do is make David Stearns pick up the phone if he's not already picking up the phone and explore some more options coming up on the trade deadline. Like, why are we jumping past the trade deadline to talk about a Subway Series? Why are we so worried about how Yankee fans feel about Juan Soto instead of talking about each team and their needs at the deadline? Let's get to the deadline first. 888-808-1019. Like, the conversation's like, there has to be an order of operations. Complete the sweep. Both teams did that. And now this weekend, the Tampa Bay Rays come to town, and I'm rooting for the Mets. Smack them. They play in George M. Steinbrenner Field. They come up here to Citi Field, smack them around, sweep them too. You got Pride Tank Top night, Mr. Met plushie night, and Hawaiian shirt night. Citi Field is going to be rocking. But let me also remind y'all of this. No matter how many people you put into Citi Field, right? Like, and it's great that y'all are showing up. Steve Cohen called you out and said to show up. 39,779 people in there today. That's light work at Yankee Stadium. Just construction-wise, they didn't even build your ballpark to fit the amount of people that Yankee Stadium. So what are we talking about? Like, let's just do our own things independently, separately. That's a good number for a Thursday day game against the Nationals. But that's like a regular, that's a regular number in the Bronx. Let's go back to the Bronx. Because the Yankees, you kept hearing this stat on the post game. Any way you want it, you can get it with the Yanks. They can put up 10 runs on you. They can beat you 1-0. And they kept talking about how this is the fourth win that the Yankees have had like this. And that goes to show you that the philosophy change after losing Juan Soto, right? The philosophy change of pitching and defense is apparent. It's obvious that the Yankees can hold it down and win on a Pablo Reyes rumbling, stumbling, bumbling, only run scored. And shout out to Pablo Reyes because they're about to launch him somewhere. Giancarlo Stanton is coming back. They're shipping up to Boston. And I don't know if Pablo Reyes is going to survive that. I don't think they're going to move Peraza. I mean, I did see Scott Efros with it. I don't know if it's going to be I would assume Pablo Reyes, happy trails, and welcome back the ALCS MVP. That's another thing. I'm so tired of hearing Juan Soto carried the Yankees to the World Series. Juan Soto is the reason that the Yankees got to the World Series. Why didn't he win ALCS MVP? He didn't do it alone. It's so corny. Y'all aren't tired of that yet? Come up with something else. There's so many other narratives and storylines. Like, how about Judge not being in the lineup tonight? And that's another thing. No matter what, Met fans, you have Juan Soto. Yes, Yankee fans wanted him back, myself included. But he's not better than Judge. So you don't have that over us. No matter what, we have the best player in the game. Enjoy Juan Soto. We have Aaron Judge. No matter what you do, we just can one-up you. Like, no matter what you do, we got Aaron Judge. Like, Aaron Judge is the best player in the game. We'll talk about him tonight. I love reading about his fatherhood as we're coming up on Father's Day weekend. I love hearing about his daughter, his at-home setup. I think it's crazy. Twice I read on MLB and ESPN that him and his wife, Samantha, take care of their daughter without a nanny, without a night nurse. As much money as they have, they could have a fleet of people taking care of their child, but they're doing it one-to-one, and I admire that. I think that's great. And I admire Judge. He gave Boone a proposition, a scheduled rest day here. He said to Boone, if I homer in the first two games, can I play in the last one? And so what does he do? He homers in the first two games, and Boone still sits him. But you know what? They're going up against Seth Lugo, who has been great. And Judge's numbers aren't great against Seth Lugo, so he kind of dodged him. He did dodge him, and that one at bat was a joke. You guys saw that slider come through. It was a ball, then it was a strike, whatever. But Yankee fans start freaking out because Judge is in the lineup. Pablo Reyes is back in the lineup, punt lineup. You can't predict baseball. Of course, Pablo Reyes scores the only run, and you don't need Judge to play. You give Judge pretty much a off day, one at bat, and you go in there, and Will Warren holds it down. You go in there, and the bullpen holds it down. Tim Hill, Mark Leiter Jr. get back out there. Jonathan Loaisiga, good to see Jonathan Loaisiga look like Jonathan Loaisiga. And wow, Devin Williams, the airbender in mid-June, getting into his mid-season form, looking like the closer we all thought we were getting. 888-808-1019. Good win for the Yankees. sweeping Kansas City. Those umpires were terrible. The whole series, they were terrible. And the Yankees overcame it. Alfonso Marquez. Like, what a joke these umpires are in Major League Baseball. When they lock out after next year, they better get that right. They better figure that out. ABS, ASAP, and get some better younger guys in here that know what they're doing, know what they're looking at to call the game. It's a joke. But ultimately, one-run games. The Mets beat the Nationals 4-3. Kodai Senga goes down, but the bullpen is rested thanks to David Peterson. Castillo, Brazoban, Stanek, Diaz. That's done. And now Tampa comes to town, and the Yankees go up to Boston. Oh, we're going to talk about Hunter Dobbins' lying ass tonight, too. Mad dumb. Fabricated a whole story for attention. And he'll pitch in this upcoming series, and I hope a different outcome happens where he gets rocked. We'll play some audio from him. Yeah, we'll pass the time, man. I didn't even mention last night that the Yankees floated out there that Ben Rice will actually see some time at catcher. We saw that in this series, but with Stanton coming back, they're going to find a way. You saw J.C. Escar tonight with a double. J.C. Escar is doing his thing well. So the Yankees have 3 left-handed catchers on this team. They're all going to play, whatever. However you draw it up, works for me. No NBA on tonight. The Oilers come back and beat the Panthers. This Stanley Cup, nobody's really talking about it on the fan, but it's an all-timer. It's a great one. The series is tied 2-2. There's been some ridiculous games. I'll take your calls on that. I haven't been watching too much myself. I watched the last game where it was a 6-1 and it was Mortal Kombat the whole time. But I was in the gym. I think the Panthers were up 3-0. Yeah, they were. They were up 3-0. And then Edmonton comes right back, ties it up, and then they win it in overtime. The sports are sportsing. There's so much more to talk about than, oh, we told you Juan Soto was Juan Soto. No, we told you Juan Soto was Juan Soto. We told you it was only a matter of time. But we're going to enjoy him struggling. We're going to enjoy him adjusting. We're going to enjoy him not looking happy and not doing anything in the Subway Series. That's over. Let's get to the next one in Citi Field. Go to your corners. Call me up and talk Mets and try and keep it to the Mets and the Mets pitching and the Mets lineup and the Mets hitting and who they're about to face. Call me up and talk Yanks. The Yanks versus the Royals and what you expect to see out of the Yanks going to Beantown. They got to win this series. They got to take 2 out of 3. I'm not asking for a sweep. Go up there and take 2 out of 3 just to get immediate redemption a weekend after. 888-808-1019. Keep McPherson on the fan. We will start with the baseball. But, I'm not going to get on the fan and try and make you guys call in and talk about Juan Soto and how Yankee fans feel. I think that's nonsense. I think there's enough baseball to talk about, good baseball things to talk about with each one of these teams. And we can look forward to the series coming up this weekend. KM to AM returns right after this. Yo, so I am on, let me see here. Let me set up the other mic. Okay. These stupid ass lights, bro. It's like lights streaking. I'm gonna get rid of that. Let me see if I can play with this camera. Okay. I'm experimenting with the audio. What you're hearing right now is my MacBook microphone, and I'm right on top of it, so you're hearing my voice. But this is what it sounds like when I go to the calls. And with over 100 stores from Connecticut to Maine, will be. I'm working on it. And I'm gonna switch to the other microphone. But when the callers call in, you can hear that.
Switch it from your phone. That's our best price ever on unlimited welcome with autopay plus taxes and fees, guaranteed for 3 years. Because at Verizon, we got you. NYC Verizon store today. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than traffic. Domestic data only at 2G speeds. Price guarantee applies to internet-based monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply.
It's getting warmer outside, and the deals are hotter than ever inside. With 0 down payment, 0% financing available, and your new Jeep Chrysler Dodge Ram is here.
Jeep Compass Limited 4x4, just $299 a month, or lease a new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited 4x4.
Bro, I'm an audio nerd as well, and I don't want to go to engineering because they're just gonna tell me no anyway. I'm gonna switch the mic right now to the Elgato Wave.
Fun savings. Remember,
Employee Pricing Plus. Approval term Compass 36, Cherokee 24 months due at sign, Compass 3394, Cherokee 3259 at tax, $498. We've got more sports talk coming up on The Fan.
What's up?
Continue the Jersey Shore's greatest Father's Day tradition and bring Dad to Monmouth Park Racetrack Sunday, June 15th. All men get free admission. On Saturday, June 14th, the first 5,000 paying fans receive a free Monmouth Park hoodie. And mark your calendars for 2 of summer's biggest events. Naira Betts Haskell Day, summer's biggest party, on July 19th. Then join me, Al Dukes, at Monmouth Park on July 20th. Go to monmouthpark.com.
This Father's Day at Lowe's, score free gifts for the greatest dad. Right now, get a free Blackstone 8-piece accessory kit when you buy a Blackstone 28-inch griddle. Plus, get 2 free select Craftsman V20 tools when you buy an RP brushless drill and impact driver combo kit. Shop these deals and more this Father's Day at Lowe's. We help, you save. Valid through 6/15. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Granger who does the same. Granger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done. The Rico Bronya podcast is proudly sponsored by Takara Fuji Apple Chew High, a sparkling cocktail that blends shochu spirits with delicious flavors of fruits from Japan. Whether it's Citi Field or your favorite spot, raise the apple. 6 to 10 on WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1, New York, on Otis Sports Station.
Good morning at 12 o'clock. I'm Marco Belletti, and this report is brought to you by policeofficersrighttosue.com. Well, the Yankees continue to dominate the Royals, cap the season sweep with a 1-0 victory. Bombers' lone run coming on a throwing error in the 8th, as Will Warren didn't factor but was brilliant, scattered 4 hits with 4 Ks over 5 2/3, and Devin Williams shut the door with a perfect 9. Mets held off the Nationals 4-3. Jeff McNeil 3-run shot. Brandon Nimmo homered again. But their 6th straight win in their 15th and 18 games was dampened as Kodai Senga forced to exit after 5 1/3 scoreless innings of 1-hit ball due to a strained hamstring, headed for the IL. But the question is, how long?
It's hard for me to speculate, but obviously we know he's going to be down. As soon as he goes down like that and he grabs the hamstring, we saw last year, unfortunately. But yeah, like I said, we got to wait till tomorrow and see what we're dealing with here.
Stanley Cup Finals, Edmonton rallied from 3-0 down, then coughed up a 4-3 lead with 20 seconds left, only to get the game winner from Leon Draisaitl in overtime as they outlast the Panthers 5-4 in OT, even the series of 2 games apiece. For Draisaitl, a new NHL record, 4th overtime game winner of this postseason. And one round down, U.S. Open, J.J. Spawn on top, a one-shot lead at 4 under. Brooks Koepka's 2 back, John Rahm 3 off the pace, and Scotty Scheffler struggled, finished at +3. 77 degrees, clear skies, Central Park. That's what's happening. I'm Marco Belletti.
All the play-by-play with Susan Waldman and Dave Sims on the home of Yankees Radio, The Fan.
Good morning, good morning. All the single ladies, We got some suspect songs. Maybe Beyonce planning them. I know we play that one, and we play Ladies Leave Your Man at Home. The club is full of ballers and they pockets full grown. Jumping. I don't know. I just feel like it's like a bunch of dudes listening to WFAN at midnight to talk about baseball, and like we're setting the opposite kind of mood. Here I am to correct it. Keith McPherson on the Fan, 888-808-1019. Pablo Reyes with his Yankee moment. Shout out to my guy Matt with the stats from MLB Network who just texted me that. I'm like, how did you know that was in my notes? I literally have Pablo, or maybe I said it already, Pablo Reyes Yankee moment before they launch him into the sun. Pablo Reyes resurgence bandwagon. Let's go, Pablo. You know, the Yankees kept this guy around, and like I was saying, he became the whipping boy. And I'm happy for the guy that tonight, you know, he had a moment and he won them the game, running the bases, getting on and scoring. And you expect Stanton to be back. Stanton's been with the Somerset Patriots. It was Margaritaville night. Shout out to the Patriots and their marketing team and all the things that they do out there, all the different nights that they have out there. They're fun. I went out there a couple Fridays ago and got to throw out the first pitch, and it was so much fun. I encourage anybody and everybody to make the drive out to Somerset, or maybe you live out there. There were a lot of people, you know, when they announced me, that were like, yeah, WFAN. I'm like, you guys can hear WFAN all the way out there? Of course they can. I've been on WFAN, and people as far south as the Mason-Dixon line have picked up the signal. People as north as Maine have picked up the signal. So, yeah, let's get into it, man. I'm taking calls, 888-808-1019. You know, this morning I was driving home, and I'm listening to BT and Sal. And I love BT and Sal. I think they're great. But I'm like, yo, talk about David Peterson's complete game. Why is everything Juan Soto? It's low-hanging fruit. It's easy. It's easy to go back and forth Mets versus Yankees, but I don't think there's any we will do that leading up into the July 4th weekend. No? Like we don't have to be at each other's necks all the time. Who's better? Or the Mets catching the Yankees? I'm just like, I'm good on that, bro. I'm tired of going back and forth with some of these Met fans online. I got 300 of them muted. Like, let's just talk about our teams independently if we can. Let's talk about the good things that we're seeing from our lineups. Let's talk about the good things we're seeing from our rotations and our bullpen, who we want to get at the deadline, upcoming opponents, and then eventually, guys, give it a couple weeks. Eventually, the upcoming opponent will be each other. It'll be New York versus New York. So, JP is first up on the Fan. Go for it, JP.
Oh, Keith, what a great job setting up the show tonight. I rarely get a chance to listen to you, but I always love it when I do. Just come from a business trip, just landed, and I'm driving back home. And what a great setup with the Mets versus Yankees rivalry. My wife is a diehard Yankee fan. I'm a diehard Mets fan, and I grew up hating the Yankees. I grew up going to family functions. My Yankee family members giving me the business. Of course, you know, I'm 48 years old, so growing up through the late 80s, early 90s, and of course the Yankee dynasty. And my wife, when we first started dating, and I went to her apartment for the first time, there's a life-size Derek Jeter cardboard cutout in her living room. And the two of us agreed that if she was a Philly fan or I was a Red Sox fan, the thing would never have worked. But somehow, some way, and I'm throwing this out there as like a very idyllic proposal to New York fans. But what has gotten us to a great place as two fans is we kind of treat the Mets and the Yankees as like big brother, little brother. The Yankees are obviously big brother. There's no way the Mets can compete with catch up. There's no point in even trying to catch up as a successful franchise. But we can win today. And as the big brother, being the Yankees, you got to take that responsibility as a big brother and treat the little brother right. The little brother doesn't have all the gifts that you have. The little brother doesn't have the age that you have, or even the relationship with your parents that you have. So anyway, what I found in our family is I can root for the Mets and even sort of behind the scenes root against the Yankees without any issue. And my wife just roots for the Mets because she wants the little brother to win. My kids actually become Met fans, despite the fact that she's a diehard Yankee fan. And at the end of the day, Keith, we should be rooting against Philadelphia and Boston, and that's the end of it. There shouldn't be this crazy Mets versus Yankees thing. I get the sibling rivalry, but beyond that, it's just for fun. We should really be just focusing on our own deal, and I loved how you set it up at the beginning of the show. Yeah,
and I'm going to echo that. And thanks for that call, JP. It gets corny sometimes to just always be measuring. The way I talked about how Yankee Stadium is built and how many people Yankee Stadium can fit in it, it's no contest. And some Yankee fans do hate the Mets and hate Mets fans, and I get it. And there's some days that I feel like that. But ultimately, I'm happy for your success. I don't get a kick out of you being bums, especially me being on the radio and being in the media. I want the Mets to be good. I want there to be postseason baseball in both ballparks in Queens and the Bronx. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the big boy table. I want you to feel how we feel, right? I was talking last night about David Peterson in that complete game and how they all celebrated that complete game like they won a series in October. And I said those are building block moments. Those are moments that go on the championship DVD. I know there ain't no DVDs, but you know what I'm talking about, right? When they make the movie for the 2025 Mets, that's a checkpoint. David Peterson, complete game against the Washington Nationals. As the Mets sweep the Washington, it builds a story about Citi Field and how this year Citi Field is different. And Steve Cohen called out the fan base. He spent a lot of money on this team, and that's another thing. You spent a lot of money on the team. You're supposed to be good. This isn't a surprise. Nobody's shocked. Accept it, right? You don't need validation from the Yankee fans. You don't need validation from me or anyone. You don't need us to suffer or be uncomfortable because Juan. So we're off that. I promise you, we're off that. We're off that. We're trying to figure out what happens when Stanton comes back and Ben Rice. We're trying to figure out this outfield. And do they trade away a Trent Grisham? Because there's really 4 starting outfielders with the New York Yankees. We're trying to figure out, okay, Stroman's coming back. Is he worth anything? He changed his tune now. Where do we fit him? Is he going to start? Now he says he's willing to come out of the bullpen. Is Yarby going to go back to the bullpen and he gets some start? Will Warren, you got to kind of leave Will Warren, but you have options. Something those are the kind of conversations that Yankee fans are having. Yankee fans are having conversations about how Judge might actually have the best hitting season we've ever seen. He might win the Triple Crown. I don't know any Yankee fans that are Juan Soto's heating up. Duh, we knew it. And you know what's super corny too? Last year, it was Juan Soto. Juan Soto was Juan Soto from start to finish last year as a Yankee. And all we heard from Met fans was he's renting in the Bronx, buying in Queens. And we're like, yo, chill. He's a Yankee. Let us enjoy this 1-year rental, however it turns out. Yo, just back. Yo, mind your beeswax, yo. And now it's you got the guy. You have the guy performing now, and you still need him. Where's Keith McPherson on this? I don't care. I'm the one that told you when June comes, he's going to make a push to be an all-star. When June comes, when he hits that first home run, he's going to hit a string of home runs. Start betting on him. He was the most bet-on person to homer in baseball today. Today wasn't the day to bet on him. But he's going to stay hot now. And I'm not the guy to talk about the level of competition, but you do. When we talk about measuring Mets versus Yankees, measure your own opponents first. Okay? You're handling business. You swept the Rockies. You swept the Nationals. Congrats. It's not that impressive, though. And I'm not going to take away the split against the Dodgers. And even when you beat the Cubs, that was a test. But it's yo, we're like, some of us are legit happy for you. The team under the richest owner in the sport, with one of the smartest guys in baseball leading the team, and David Stern. This is not a fluke. This is not a surprise. I told you this is the end of the LOL Mets 2 years ago. Like, what do you need from me? What do you need from other Yankee fans? You need us. You need our tears. You're not gonna get them. You need us to be sad over Juan Soto. Like, I heard somebody call and say, "Oh, I do." It was an older fella called in the BT and Sal shows. "Oh, I do miss Juan Soto." What is there to miss? I miss Garrett Cole. I miss Garrett Cole. I think about Garrett Cole being in this rotation, and I'm like, yeah, we're probably going to have a good shot to get back to the World Series. But damn, if we had Garrett Cole, we'd be a lock. 888-808-1019. Rob is in Groton, Connecticut next on the Fan. What's up, Rob?
Hey, Keith, how you doing? That's Groton, Connecticut, but just so you know.
I am Groot.
Yes, that's right. So anyway, I'll tell you what I need. I need the New York Yankees to keep winning games like they did tonight, huh? 1-0, I'll take it, right?
Yeah, thought it was a punt lineup. Thought it was a punt game. Thought we were conceding a loss. I didn't, but that's what everybody was saying. All you need is one.
That lineup, Keith, reminded me of the 2014 New York Yankees tonight. Huh?
The 2014. Jan Gervis Solarte, 2014. Never Gervis, Jan Gervis.
Lyle Overbay is your yeah. Oh my God, I love to forget that team. But hey, so you said something about the music. I had to say something. I would rather listen to Jerry Goldsmith, who that's the theme song of the movie Patton. I would rather listen to that all night, like on repeat, than listen to those songs that you talked about ever.
Yeah, I'm Googling Jerry Goldsmith. I'm not familiar with Jerry Goldsmith, but maybe we can clean that up.
Well, he's a composer. He did like a lot of the like orchestras and like a lot of those old movies and stuff like that, you know. But hey, real quick, the most important question: when is Giancarlo coming back, and who do you think we're most likely gonna go after in the trade during the trade?
Thanks for the call, Rob. Tomorrow. I think Stanton is coming back tomorrow. I think Pablo Reyes, happy trails. I kind of already said that. That just would make the most sense to me. Unless there's, I did see Scott Efros, kind of like I said, unless it's an arm, if they want to send Scott Efros right back. I think Peraza is safe, I think Peraza is safe. Pablo Reyes, I know, has played in the outfield. He's played right field. But I just think it's over for him. I think that ship has sailed. Peraza made some plays tonight. I think Peraza's safe. 888-808-1019. And who do I think they should get at the deadline? I don't know. I the other night I saw a rumor about Luis Robert, but some Yankee fans aren't feeling that idea. I don't know. I'm just like, whatever. Like, I think if they bring in a Luis Robert, then happy trails Trent Grisham. But it's pitching, a starting pitcher. Can we get Zach Gallen? Jacob deGrom? Oh, no, Jacob deGrom. The Mets got to go get Jacob deGrom, right? That's only right. If Jacob deGrom is available, the Mets got to go trade for him. I don't know. I would like another starter in here. Max Fried is the ace. Rodon has been good, but you still couldn't trust him, right? Let's see if he bounces back against the Boston Red Sox this weekend. Who else, though? Who's pitching in the postseason for the Yankees? Clark Schmidt? Perhaps. Yarby's not going to get a start. Will Warren, they're probably not going to throw into that type of a situation. So I would want them to get another frontline starter. Well, it's now Friday. I keep saying tomorrow. It's now Friday. Today. So you got Yarby versus Garrett Crochet, 7-10, Yankees, Red Sox. Run it right back, right? Just saw them. Will Warren will dodge them this time. And then Saturday is Carlos Rodon versus Hunter Dobbins. And then Sunday, You'll get, is it Sunday Night Baseball? No, we're not on Sunday Night Baseball. Good. Day game, Father's Day game, 1:35. Max Fried versus Brian Bayo. Take 2 out of 3 from him. I'm glad they'll see Fried this time. I'm glad they'll see Fried this time. 888-808-1019. Taking calls. My God, Jarvis in Harlem, where you been?
What's up, Keith? How are you?
Good. Just trying to recalibrate some things. So I'm just like, today I just didn't understand how WFAN started with Mets versus Yankees. I'm like, wow, we don't have to do that till July.
Yeah. I was just listening. I was listening to BT and Sal because Sal just, because he's a Mets fan. He's just talking, control Yankee fans. It's all about, we so bothered because Juan Soto is a Met. That doesn't bother us. Why are you worrying about us? Why you focus on your own, focus on the Mets. How about you win the division? Think that the Mets become the big boss. You had to get to the World Series, man, because the National League Conference no easy path. Because you still got to deal with the Dodgers. I know you beat them 4 out of 3 in the regular season. I know you took 2 out of 3 in Citi Field and split the 4th series in LA. But you got to beat them in the. You still got the champs of the Dodgers you got to compete with in the American League Championship. So I don't know. I understand why Sal just say, we bother because
You're right, Jarvis. You know what you made me think about? Thanks for the call, dude. And I hate to say this, Mets fans, it's another premature celebration. When will you learn? And maybe it's just Sal. Maybe it's just Sal stirring the pot. Another premature celebration. Oh, Soto, the Mets. And it's June. Act like you've been here. Oh, you can't act like you've been here. This June stuff doesn't matter. It doesn't. So much has to happen until we get to what Jarvis is talking about. Dealing with the National League in October. Dealing with the American. Everybody just expects the Yankees to cakewalk through the American League again. I'm not on that. The Detroit Tigers are going to exist somewhere in there. Don't sleep on Houston. Eventually, Houston, they'll pop up, and they've got us too many times to just count them out. But yeah, as I'm seeing all this parading and all the Mets and it's great, enjoy it, but don't tread on the Yankees and the Yankee fans and say what we're feeling. We are not. We won the whole start. Juan Soto starting slow to start the season. Juan Soto looking like he wasn't enjoying being a Met. Juan Soto coming to Yankee Stadium, struggling in the Subway Series. That's all we needed. That was the vindication. That was the circle date on the calendar. We moved on from that. You can't get your lick back. That's what I find. I'm getting added online from random Mets fans. Oh, this was you celebrating his struggles 20% into the season. Yeah. Yeah. It was funny. I got a kick out of him not looking like Juan Soto. But you know what? You were so focused on that. The Mets team wasn't. They kept winning. And now that he's turning it on against the Rockies and the Nationals, great. But don't think that that's making any Yankee fan lose sleep. We're not. We're losing sleep over when is Luke Weaver coming back, bro? What's up with the bullpen? Who can we trust? Who can we not trust out of this pen? Oh, I thought Jake Cousins was coming back. Oh, no, he had a setback. Wait, Scott Efros? I thought Scott Efros was anywhere. Okay, Scott Efros is that's the type of stuff that we're talking about. That's the type of time we're on. Not on Juan. If anybody knows who and what Juan Soto is, it's the Yankee fans that watched every at-bat of his last year. We saw it. And when we didn't see it in the Met uniform, we had a little fun. You see how it goes back and forth? It's the Met fans' premature celebration was winter meetings. We got Soto. The pinstripes don't matter anymore. We're big brother. And we're all right, yeah, you got that. And we're going to pivot. And most of us didn't like plan B in the pivot. We like it now. And when the season started, Juan Soto not being Juan Soto, that made a lot of us chuckle, made a lot of us smile, feel some kind of way. They're not getting the return on investment. That's another thing. He's an $805 million player. More. You're celebrating a guy starting to be worth what he's not even. He's still not worth. You're still not getting the value out of what he's being paid. We don't care about that. We're on our own course, bro. The Yankees were in the World Series last year and lost. We're trying to get back and win it. And if it's the Mets there, so be it. But the odds are so slim of a Subway Series happening. Like, I get so tired of talking about it. It's so played. It's so corny. It's so whack. We got two good teams. There are a bunch of players to talk about. How about Francisco Alvarez, right? Coming back. He just had a kid. He could have taken some more time. He comes back to get in there. Jeff McNeil turning back the clock. Jeff McNeil is saying, "Oh, I'm not done." I mean, some of y'all hated on me, but I got a 911 OPS. I'm chilling. I'm hitting bombs. That's a 3-run shot. You know, Brandon Nimmo, who got his contract too, finding it. They've got a squad. It's not about Juan Soto. Don't make it about Juan Soto every day. And don't make it about like, oh, we took this guy from the Yankees and the Yankee fans aren't over it. No, unfortunately for some of y'all, we are over it. We don't care. We're like, we did not think that Juan Soto was going to struggle the entire year. But it was funny to watch him struggle and then kick the narrative of, there's something wrong with the Mets. It's that Met jersey. It's something wrong with him being a Met. This guy wishes he was hitting in front of Judge. He said it himself. You know, the way that the season started, I think that was great for the Yankee fan to just laugh and be like, yo, Soto's struggling. Soto is not Soto. He's not hitting. And if you still go and look at the numbers, Soto against good teams, right, he's still got to do it against better competition. But when are you seeing the better competition, right? You only play who you play. And I'm not the type to minimize any of these Major League Baseball teams because in baseball, anybody can beat anybody. Anybody can beat anybody, and anybody can be big. So, like, I hope y'all sweep the Tampa Bay Rays this weekend. And then when you have this stretch against the Braves, like, please go to Atlanta, beat the Braves, go to Philly, beat the Phillies, come home and beat the Braves, and make it about the NL East. Make it about your division rivals and not your crosstown rivals. We do not care. We are not thinking about you until July 4th weekend. Let's go to Phil in Sheepshead Bay.
Hey, Keith, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I want to speak to you about the relievers on both the Yankees and the Mets. It seems to me that maybe at the trade deadline, maybe the Yankees ought to fill in with one more reliever because some of the arms could be dead by then. I mean, it looks to me like Boone uses some of these guys too much.
Tim Hill, Mark Leiter Jr.
Mark Leiter I don't care for.
Me either. And like they traded for him last year at the deadline. They're going to need to get another high leverage reliever. I don't know who, but they're going to need another guy that we can depend on at the back of the bullpen.
Now, the Mets, maybe they've been lucky. They bring in a guy like Waddell. Rajaban, to me, it's a shocker. He never pitched like that, so maybe there's something to it.
Yeah, another guy that they traded for at the deadline. They put him in this pitching lab, and he's been pretty solid for them.
Yeah, I just don't believe it. Anyway, have a good night and stay well, and I'll be speaking to you down the road. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Phil.
Bye.
And I am well. I don't know if some other people are well. I don't know what you guys need to make you feel well. You're seeking like satisfaction and validation in other people that are like not thinking of you like that. It's just not a thing. like let's just enjoy our first place baseball teams. Let's just enjoy our all-stars, multiple all-stars on both teams. Let's enjoy June baseball. Let's enjoy the weather. The weather is cracked. It's hot. It's nice out. Isn't it nice to go to a day game in Citi Field and not think about the Yankees? Like, we want to talk about rent-free, like just like as much as the term rent-free gets thrown around, it's hella rent-free to be thinking about what Yankee fans are thinking about now that Juan Soto looks like the Juan Soto we've always known him to be. The Juan Soto he's being paid to be. It's not a surprise that Carlos Mendoza and these Mets are winning and in first place. I don't think anyone's shocked. You have the money, you have the brains, you have the owner and the president of baseball operations, you have the right manager. They've picked up where they left off last year and some. They don't need it's Grimace's birthday yesterday. They don't need did Grimace throw out the first pitch? I don't think so. And then kudos to the Mets for not going back to the well. They don't need Candelita. They don't need OMG. They don't need Grimace. They don't need McDonald's marketing. Because now they have good baseball players. They have a good baseball team. And there is help on the way. 888-808-1019. You're going to get guys back. Vientos will be back. Winker will be back. Siri will be back. Manaea will be back. Montas will be back. And you'll be able to add at the deadline. And it's got nothing to do with the Yankees until July 4th weekend. And you know what? I was thinking about not going. But now I think I do want to go to that. Because now the Subway Series just has its like added juice. Because like, oh, is Juan Soto going to perform in that one? Maybe. But I'm not disappointed. I like Juan Soto as a player. Like, I think he's a really good player. I told you I lost probably $500 betting on him to be the player that I'd known him to be. Juan Soto hitting home runs. Juan Soto swagging the way Juan Soto swags, shuffling, hitting home runs, having a back and forth with Mackenzie Gore. That's good for baseball. I'm a baseball fan. Juan Soto is one of the superheroes in the game. And so to see him find some kind of kryptonite for a little while, that was riveting, being a Yankee fan. But ultimately, I don't want the guy to suck the whole year. I don't want the guy to, you know what I'm saying? Like, what fun is that? 888-808-1019. And again, reminding you that Aaron Judge is on his way to a triple crown, potentially. And like, as soon as you want to talk about Juan Soto and Yankee fans feel like we're over it because we have the best player in the game. We're over it because we also have the best offense in the game. We're over it. Like when you look at that 107, that plus 107 run differential, Juan Soto's production has been replaced. I don't know if you know a Yankee fan that is crying over Juan Soto still, if you know a Yankee fan that's missing Juan Soto still, they're Juan Soto fans or they're casual fans. There's nothing to want for with this Yankee team. Like, we're coming in tonight. They won another game, 1-0. And it's a game that Jazz Chisholm didn't play. And I talked about it last night, right? I'm like, all right, Jazz, maybe they were on to something with Jazz with the neck injury and then the groin injury. And maybe they were on to something with the scheduled rest for him. They didn't need him. Great. And the Royals are like a 500 ball club. They're 34-35 now after facing the Yankees and losing every game. The Yankees can beat you. They can beat you over the head with 10 runs. They can grind you out and win 1-0. I like this team. And they've got a bunch of guys that produce, from Paul Goldschmidt, part of Plan B, Bellinger, part of Plan B, Trent Grisham, who came over in the Juan Soto trade. Some Yankee fans will tell you it was the Trent Grisham trade, not the Juan Soto trade. Like, you're getting production out of Ben Rice. Ben Rice has run into some bad luck. That seems to be his MO last year and this year. But, like, no real Yankee fan that roots for the laundry and has been rooting for this team since before Juan Soto entered Major League Baseball is looking at Juan Soto as a Met saying, wish he was doing that for, like, we're not. We get to watch Judge every night. We have Max Fried now. We also have Devin Williams now. That's another narrative, right? We were more worried about the beard policy, and Devin Williams left for paternity leave. And Devin Williams lost the closer role. And now Luke Weaver's hurt. Devin Williams has to take the closer role back. And what are we going to do for 4 to 6 weeks while Devin Williams has to close? Hey, right now we're all right. Right now we're all right. There are other things to talk about. I'll keep planting seeds for you guys. You guys want to talk about Pete Alonso and his contract and how Pete Alonso is not going anywhere because you do have the richest owner in the sport and Pete Alonso's in MVP conversations? And even if Pete Alonso goes out there and somebody offers him, because Scott Boras is going to try and get him top dollar, at the end of the day, if Steve Cohen wants to go to bed with Pete Alonso staying a Met, he's going to go to bed with Pete Alonso staying a Met. He just gave Juan Soto all that money and a suite and a security detail and a clothing allowance. That's another thing, too. We dodged one, Yankee fans. We didn't get finessed. The Yankees stood on business. They said, we're not giving you all that, bro. You're a good player, but ultimately you project to be a DH in the next 4 to 5 years. We're not giving you all that. We didn't give Jeter all that. We didn't give Judgy all that. You can't get all that, bro. The money's not good enough. You can't buy mom her own clothes. So, like, that's the other angle to it. We have Aaron Judge as Yankee fans, and we didn't get finessed into giving Juan Soto every single thing that he asked for. And the Yankees are better this year. 888-808-1019. Ultimately, we'll see where they end up. We can't say in totality, we can't say, the final verdict on it that they're a better team until they get to the World Series, and we'll see that. But like, I enjoy watching this team every night, and they seem to be a team that like they're down for each other. They're having fun with each other. Like these guys like each other, and maybe they needed to get that ego out of the clubhouse. Maybe they needed to get that ego out of the clubhouse. That came in the clubhouse and said, "I'm available to all 30 teams." It worked out for both sides. Enjoy your $800 million toy. We'll enjoy our $360 million man who's the best player in the game. They're comparing him to Babe Ruth. He's breaking baseball. He's trying to go get the Triple Crown. Keith McPherson on the fan. We got to go get another break. We'll play some other sounds. When we come back, I don't know. Hopefully we drop some beats that I like. And we'll hear from more Yankee fans, Mets fans on the fan. You're listening to the fan. KM to AM returns right after this.
The Bronx Bombers are in Beantown taking on the Red Sox. 7:10 tonight. Driven by Jeep. Susan Waldman and Dave Sims call all the action. The home of Yankees baseball is the Fan. 101 FM and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Okay, so now you can hear me directly on the MacBook mic. Now I've unplugged the mic that I rigged up. I literally let me see if I can show you guys this. Yeah, so that's a USB microphone with a set of headphones just blasting the true radio audio into that microphone. So that's my workaround. I have bought different wires. The only thing I haven't done is buy like a go-between, like some type of a mixer that can take the audio out of the headphones into this and feed it in. I've downloaded programs. I've been working on this for months. I brought in a DJ mixer. I had the problem is like this is an old radio station and it's wired up for old technology. Like it's wired up for just like this is how the audio comes out. And this MacBook, if you know anything about these new MacBooks, the MacBooks just have like this type of input. I've been in Best Buy buying the USB-C to 1/8 jack. Like I know all this stuff too, like from working at Guitar Center and being a radio guy and an audio guy. And like I said, I could go to engineering about it, but I think engineering would not be like, I don't think they'd be trying to help me. So this is the best I could do. And I think it's better because like the main component of the radio show is the callers. And before, what you were hearing was this. This is what the callers were sounding like before.
The luxury you deserve with limited time lease and finance offers, including the GLC, C-Class, and the cutting-edge EQ.
And like that is coming from a big-ass monitor up there, which I was saying is like 20 feet away from this microphone. So anyway, that's where we are. I have not really interacted with the chat at all outside of, going through the audio stuff. But yeah, I listened today and I'm like, I'm not doing this, bro. I'm not doing it. And then like, I don't mind people trolling me, but it just like, it's off base. Like, it's just off base. Like when Juan Soto was struggling, that's a storyline. When Juan Soto played against the Yankees and didn't do anything, that's a storyline. Juan Soto being Juan Soto, it's a story, but it's not that's more of the norm. That's what we expect. He's the highest paid player in the game. no one should be surprised. So it's like, I guess there are some Met fans, they want to get their get back because they were hurt by me trolling them and making fun of them when Juan Soto was struggling. Now that he's succeeding, they want me to be sad. And I'm like, no, this is what I expected all along. This is what I thought was going to happen, y'all. Like, this is what I was literally betting on. This is what I saw last year. And this is what I saw when he was with the Nationals and the Padres. That's what I'm saying, bro. I knew it wasn't great, but like, man, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys pulling up. We've like built a little bit of a community here. And what I was saying is like the way I see it, when the games end at night, you could watch SNY Sports Night, you could watch ESPN, but like where else is there like a live sports community talking about the games and the storylines and the narratives and what's going on? Like I'm kind of cultivating that right now. And like that makes it so much more worth it than just sitting in here by myself. When I didn't have a live stream, just like taking calls, whatever, because I like that's cool and all too. But I did that for 3 years. This is my 4th year on the radio, and now we've evolved into like the digital era. I wish WFAN had a Twitch channel. Well, we do, but I wish they had somebody producing and turning on Twitch. Okay, we're coming back. We switch here.
Oh, much better. I like this jam right here. All-time bop. Majid Jordan, Drake. I've got my eyes on you. Just hold on, we're going on. Not yet. Keith McPherson on the fan. 888-808-1019. Talking about the Mets and the Yankees. Eventually, we'll talk Knicks, but I kind of want to break from that too. The only thing that we can add to the Knicks conversation is that the Roommates podcast happened. Brunson and Hart spoke, but they didn't, they're not really allowed to do too much or say too much. They didn't really give us anything. We are getting a little bit out of Jets camp. Oh, I didn't even get to this last night because it was a quick show. Abdul Carter and that little clip going viral where Jermaine Illuminor is like, oh, the dumbest things go viral. Abdul Carter being a whole rookie, even though he's 3rd overall, like he took it down. But like, you're not supposed to be showing practice footage on your Instagram story. I don't care if it's a great play. I don't care if it's a great spin move. Like, learn from that now. Learn from that now. And yeah, it's going to go viral because on one side, people are writing it up as like, oh, Kayvon, Brian Burns, Carter, they're going to be a fearsome, like, yeah, okay, they're going to be a good pass rush up front. But then people are knocking the Giants' offensive line, which they've knocked the Giants' offensive line for the last decade. Like, that's not good. Do not post on your Instagram story, the rush. And also it's a rush, like it's not padded. I hate anybody flexing football that's not in pads. It's not real football. It's practice. Leave that in practice. Don't put that on your Instagram story for the world to run with. 888-808-1019. Let's run with the calls on the Mets, on the Yankees. And of course, this narrative that like Yankee fans are upset that Juan Soto is performing well. We're not. We're over it. Congrats. Get that return on investment. Better late than never. We enjoyed his struggles. We enjoyed his slow start. We didn't think it would last. Honestly, I didn't think it would take this long to June. and like, it doesn't work the other way around. You don't get your lick back that fast. You know how you get your lick back, honestly? July 4th weekend, you'll get a little bit of, like, if he balls out and he hits 3 home runs against the Yankees and leads the Mets to victory in the second installment of the Subway Series, great. You'll get some of that. But you know what'll really hurt?
is whether the Yankees are the opponent in the American League that the Mets face in the World Series or not. If Juan Soto performs in the postseason and World Series and propels the Mets to a championship, like I will definitely feel some type of way if I'm watching Juan Soto lead the Mets to a World Series victory. If I'm watching Juan Soto be the difference this year for the Mets, 39 years since 1986, and I know you Met fans keep bringing up 1986. Oh, we might be watching the best team since 1986. How many games is this Mets team going to win? Just proceed with caution. I think they have a real squad here. I think they have a real organization here. I don't think this is a fluke, but you're playing the Nationals and the Rockies. There's a long way to go, and you got nothing on the Yankees right now. Nothing. There's nothing you can hold in front of a Yankee fan or the New York Yankees organization and say, look at us. We don't care. We don't care. We will care if you win a World Series before we do, and Juan Soto is the difference. 888-808-1019. Let's talk to Abe and Muncie on the fan. What's up, Abe?
Yeah, what's up, Keith?
You know, hanging out.
Yeah, met you a couple times at the stadium. Shout out to 204. Shout out to Mark.
203, bro. 204 is on the left side. 202 is on the right side. 203 is in the
yeah,
middle.
my bad. Wow, my bad, Keith.
That's what I'm here for, just clarity,
Yeah, Keith, before I got to my point, I got one compliment and one rip against you, yeah?
No?
What's no about?
Go for it.
I said my compliment is that, first of all, I love that you're in the media, you're a big guy and a fan, but I love you stayed right to what you used to be, and you hold yourself as like a regular guy.
I am.
My rip against you is you can't get on the fan and say how we don't care about Soto, and you open the show with 45 minutes about talking about Soto.
Nah, that's a rebuttal to what I heard earlier today and what I saw online. This is for clarity. Let me clarify. Like, Juan Soto is not. We're not losing sleep over Juan Soto being Juan Soto. This is what we expect.
My point is, I don't understand Boone. Yeah, you got to sit Jazz, the injury, right? Injury coming up. But why you got to sit Austin Wells this game? Understand his first two games of the series. You can't sit three key guys in your starting lineup. And
they won.
Obviously, got lucky, but
Boone would tell you, nah, they won. Thanks for the call, Abe. We'll go back. Like, I don't know. Because I'm on the radio 4 years running, because I got a couple of followers, am I supposed to be Big Show Bob? I was going to the stadium before this. I was doing all the same stuff before. Like, the way I look at it, I'm aging out. I'm not going to be able to do this when I'm 40, when I'm 45. So, like, I don't know. And they found me like this. WFAN was well aware of how many games I was going to and what my social media was like. So, like, when you guys see me doing me out there in Yankee Stadium or anywhere else, it is not like, it is not it's not for show. You don't have to. I mean, I appreciate you appreciate it, but like I'm doing what I like to do, what I've always done. And then opening the show with Juan Soto, it was just something that irked me, man. It was just something I like, and let me be claro, like it doesn't work that way. Some people do look for me to speak up for the Yankee fans. And I just think there are a lot of Yankee fans that are like, where is this coming from? Oh, because you want some get back because we laughed and we trolled and we mocked because Juan Soto looked like he was unhappy and wasn't like, but you don't get any get back because Juan Soto hits home runs against the Nationals and gets on base 6 times against a Rocket. We don't care. Good. Congrats. And then with Aaron Boone, Aaron Boone is not above reproach. Managers are going to, even Carlos Mendoza, managers are going to get questioned all the time. But I think I saw this tweet today and it made me laugh. And it was in the Yankees Twitter online community. And this girl said, I just joined the community. Do you guys complain about the lineup every day? I cracked up laughing. This girl is new to the Yankees Twitter online community. And she's like, do you guys complain about the lineup every day? Yes. There is no perfect lineup. They change the lineup every day. And Yankee fans complain about it. But ultimately, when you win a game like they won today, there's nothing wrong with the lineup. And I told you last night Jazz wasn't going to play and they were going to be precautious. Like, it's a groin injury. They already rested him. Now, Judge, it's a streak of 16 games in a row without an off day. And I know there's a thought like maybe you cool Judge off. I don't think there's cooling Judge off. You can cool Jazz off. I don't think there's cooling Judge off. And ultimately, they brought Judge in for theatrics late in the game. He got worked by the home plate ump, but whatever. They won the game. They won the game. So I'm not worried about what Boone is doing, changing the lineup and playing Pablo Reyes. I know you guys don't want to see him, but good news. There's a good chance that later today, John Carlos Stanton is back and he's gone, and you don't have to worry about that. And then you're talking about Austin Wells. Like, the catchers don't catch every single day. They don't catch every single game of the series. And honestly, Escara has been getting some opportunities here. He's catching Will Warren. He's catching Carlos Rodon, and he's not been bad. I like his celly too. When he does the Uber driver, he takes the wheel, he drives the Uber. I'm like, I gotta hit that. I got over 700 Uber rides under my belt. I know y'all know that, right? I used to drive Uber. I was telling somebody recently talking about Escara with that. Like, I think people have moved away from, like, maybe in 2016, 17, 18, like being an Uber driver was a thing where it's like, oh, you drive Uber, you're a taxi cab driver, which there's nothing wrong with that either. But like, to drive Uber, you have to own a vehicle. Well, actually, you can rent them now, and they've had that for a few years. But like, I don't know, when I was driving Uber, when I first started driving Uber, I had a full-time job, but I was trying to make some extra money on the side. It was a hustle. It wasn't like a bum job. It wasn't like it was additional funds. You have to gas up your car. So it was like I had a car and I was putting gas in my car. And you know what I learned driving Uber? You can go help people. You know what I learned driving Uber? All the highways and routes and byways and places around. Like, I learned all of these different roads and places driving Uber. And you know what the biggest thing I got from Uber was? When people that, did actually want to talk, I had to have conversations with people from all walks of life. And look what I do now. I take calls and I talk to random people all night from all walks of life. So the whole stigmatism behind being an Uber driver, like that's some type of negative. No. Anybody that has a car and a license and gets through that little process of becoming an Uber driver can be an Uber driver. It doesn't mean that you're like a bum or a loser or anything like that. Shout out to JC Escar, driving the Uber when he hit that double today. Justin's in Brooklyn next on the fan. What you thinking about, Justin?
Sorry. Thank you for pointing it out. See a scale. But anyway.
Justin, you're on hold. Just get into a better area. You might be in a basement or something. You were coming in like we lost you. We weren't hearing you correctly. My guy Josh in Passaic back on the fan. I think his connection is going to be perfectly fine.
Yo, Keith, what's poppin', man?
Rewatching the Yankee game, I know nothing is going to happen for the most part for a few innings.
Yeah, but I mean, some harder things in life are some random stuff. And my grandfather's birthday was 2 weeks ago, so I wrote him a card. And that turns out, it's Father's Day coming up also. I'm like lost for what to write. Like, I just wrote it. I saw him. Whatever, who knows? But anyway, looking at our Metsies, we got like a Grimace /June, like 2.0 from last year. It's great, we started better off this year than last year, and did take a little tumble at some point. We're like down on the team, then they come out in June and it's fire. It's great. I mean, the only guy missing is actual OMG guy, but we're enjoying right now. It's pretty wild.
Listen, 2025 is his own year of the Mets. I know last year was fun, but you know what? You should be hoping this year that this year can just be fun and be better. Don't you want to go to the World Series this year? Like you don't need Grimace. You don't need Candelita. You don't need I don't want to throw the rally pimp out there because he's just a fan. But you know what I'm saying? You don't need the gimmicks. You need good baseball, and this is a good baseball team. This is a good operation. This looks like a like sustainable thing with this franchise for the first time in a long time.
Right, but it's always fun, to have those side things also.
Yes, you're a young guy. And that's what I said. That stuff is great for kids. Like, and not to call you a kid, but like young people need that extra stuff. Not just we have one of the best ERAs in our starting rotation. We have multiple guys in this lineup that can hit the ball out of the ballpark.
We're going to have multiple all-stars. Our bullpen is one of the best bullpens we've had in a long time. Usually the Mets bullpen was blowing games. You could count on it. These guys you can count on. No?
Right, and then another quick thing, also, I think we've seen. I think we can say we've seen enough from like Senga now. It's it's not a solid outing, and going all the way back. He was roughed up by the Dodgers series last year. That got people kind of down on him. But that just shows, when the guy doesn't pitch the whole year, don't throw him out in the middle of a playoff series. But now, like, the guy's turning into a legit ace. Then you gotta give the Mets pitchers credit, like how they planned it out, and like every single year. Everyone's talking about why they getting this pitcher, why they getting that pitcher, and like they're missing the Naya. I know now they play the Nationals and Rockies, but even against the Dodgers, most of them were performing, and as Mets fans, just it inspires confidence in the team when the hitting hasn't been so great. The team still piles up those W's, and you keep on saying, eventually when the hitting does wake up, might still be saying it come a few months, but we can always have that hope. Plus, there's still plenty of W's, so it's all good now. Anyway, Keith, thanks for taking my call. Have a great night.
You gotta believe. They're giving you every reason to believe. I don't think the offense is lacking that much. Like, you got enough. These 3 games were great games if you went to Citi Field. The walk-off win that I thought was just a guarantee. The make it happen Mets. You knew they were going to make it happen. You knew going into extras after they just had some extra inning games in Dodger Stadium, like they would have the advantage. I knew as soon as they put Acuna out there, I'm like, this guy's going to score. He's fast. They're not going to lose this game. Some Mets fans were thinking in the early part of that game, here come the Nationals. We're due for a loss. They just swept the Rockies. Like, maybe we give them this one. No, not at home. This is the team with the best home field advantage in baseball. Then the next game is a 5-0 shutout, and you get Juan Soto. You get signature Juan Soto, and you get a David Peterson masterpiece, a complete game shutout. I think I saw Evans' poll, what would you rather be at, a walk-off or a complete game shutout? A complete game shutout 10 times out of 10. Like, they're rare. You don't see pitchers go 6 innings, to see a pitcher throw the whole damn game and watch that like that, that's awesome. I watched that game. I listened to that game, and I was watching on MLB Big Inning, and like I said, Peterson had the 8-pitch first inning, and then he was at 66 pitches through 6 innings. I'm like, this guy's cruising. He might actually do it. And then today, a day game where it's obviously not a good feeling because Senga goes down, but you win the game and you give up some runs late, but ultimately you survive. Jeff McNeil homers, a 3-run bomb, Nimmo homers, and you win, and you do what you got to do to sweep. You still sweep the Nationals, and you have almost 40,000 people in the building. Like, the vibes are right. The vibes are good going into the weekend against Tampa Bay. You can sweep them too. Keep the win streak going. Keep the good energy going. Stack wins. The Mets are the best team in baseball right now. They have the best record in baseball right now. I don't know how you could want anything else. You should. I don't understand how you. I know. What you want is some Yankee tears will make it that much better. Okay, let's see if Justin's phone is working again.
No, I don't have any Wi-Fi upstairs, but I got better reception.
You're crystal clear now. You're good now. I'm good.
Yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah. How about Reyes tonight, man? We wouldn't be winning this game if it wasn't for that little slip and fall, as I like to call it.
Yeah, he fell, but he got up and he got in there, and I think that's his Yankee moment. I think he earned his pinstripes tonight, and they might take him off of him as soon as Stanton gets activated. He may be the guy to get chopped.
Yeah, so Stanton might come back for the Boston series or maybe the Angels series.
I think everybody's expecting him to be activated this weekend in Boston. He kills the Red Sox, and it's like, how much more do we need to see him in Somerset? And also, you got to proceed with caution because, like, every double that he gets or whatever, like, you don't want him to potentially get hurt out there with the Somerset Patriots. Thanks for the call, Justin. 888-808-1019. We got a break. I'm running out of time. I got less than an hour left in this show. Call us up. Keith McPherson on the Fan, BRB. and Sal. Middays 10 to 2 on the Fan.
Yo, what was Josh in the Bronx talking about with his grandpa? Did you guys hear that call? I didn't understand what that was about. That missed me. I didn't even say anything. He said something about like some tough things in life and his grandfather and a Father's Day card. I don't know what Buddy was on. I think he was talking about random life things like how you were talking about Uber. It just didn't relate. I don't know. Yeah, that one missed me. That one went over my head. I meant in regards to Mets, not Yankees worrying about the Giants. Yeah, what was Josh talking about, bro? Nobody's concerned or worried about the Giants? The New York Football Giants? Let me see. I gotta center this camera. Demon D, what up? Oh, wouldn't look past the San Francisco Giants in the West. Yeah, they just swept the Dodgers, right? Complete game shutout you rather sit through 9 innings of. That's what everybody says, but like maybe not. I want this camera to be like right there. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say, bro. It's like I know it's easy because it's just WFAN. There's Mets fans and Yankee fans calling and listening. It's easy to try and pit each side against each other every day, but it's exhausting. It gets so corny. Right. No team is beating the Dodgers this season. It's tough. Like, it's tough for me to like read that and like co-sign that because one, it's baseball, and two, didn't we just talk about them? They should have been swept by the Mets, but didn't they just get swept by the Giants? Wasn't no, not Giants. Who were they playing? No, they played the Padres. They beat the Padres in that series, but we were just talking about they got swept by the Angels this year. Like anybody can get beat. Anybody can get beat. We can't just hand the World Series trophy to the Dodgers again. I do Uber and have a full-time job. It's a grind. Doing Uber is fun. Yeah. So like that's what I was saying with JC Escar and even myself. Like people try to make like driving Uber like you're some type of bum. I did it like you know what got me? I had a full-time job. I was working at MTV, and I got one of those little Google ad emails, and it was like drive Uber, complete your first 100 rides in 30 days for $1,000 bonus. So to me, that looked like a video game challenge. I'm like, 100 rides in 30 days for $1,000? I can do that. And I did it. And I honestly did it in 26 days because I went to the like initial intake and I didn't realize as soon as they activate you, you're on the clock. I didn't start driving right away. I did, and I got that bonus. I like Escara too. I don't know how, like I was talking before about how the Yankees have 3 left-handed batting catchers. Not that like, I don't know. It's just not how you kind of not exactly how you would draw it up. Okay.
Sports Station.
Good morning at 1 o'clock. I'm Marco Belletti. Will Warren, 5 2/3 scoreless inning, struck out 4 as the Yankees able to capitalize on a Royals throwing error in the 8th for a 1-0 victory, capping the season sweep. Bombers won 16-22. Mets remain red hot, 6 straight wins, 15 of 18, held off the Nationals 4-3. Jeff McNeil, a 3-run shot. Brandon Nimmo homered again, but Kodai Senga being forced to exit after 5 1/3 scoreless innings, a 1-hit ball due to a strained hamstring. He's headed for the IL.
I just spoke with him. Obviously frustrated, but I told him he's going to be back and he's going to be an important part of this team when he gets back. So the main thing is wait for the results, see what we're dealing with, and then we'll attack.
Meanwhile, Jalen Brunson took to the Roommates podcast, admitted it's tough to see Tom Thibodeau go. Nothing but praise for Tibbs.
Help him become 2-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA. The things he's done for me, obviously individually, I'm so grateful for. Just because he had that confidence in me that I knew I had, but it's great to see someone push you to be better.
Stanley Cup Finals, Edmonton outlasts the Panthers 5-4 in overtime. Leon Draisaitl, your game winner, as the series is even at 2. And 1 round down, U.S. Open, J.J. Spawn, 1-shot lead, 4 under. 76 degrees, cloudy skies, Central Park. That's what's happening. I'm Marco Belletti.
Get connected with WFAN to talk about your favorite teams. The Fan, always live on the free Odyssey app.
Yeah. Inside the 1 a.m. hour on the Fan in New York, and if the schedule holds the way I think it's going to hold, this is my last hour until Monday. I'm off tonight, and then Saturday I'm driving 2 hours north to Ridgefield, Connecticut to play in Bernie Williams' celebrity softball game. I'm not a celebrity. That's just what they call it. And then Sunday is Father's Day. So I have to stay home and be a family man. No Sunday sauce. And then, I'll be back on the Fan Monday. And that's a long time. But, that's going to be a long time somebody's going to enjoy. Somebody on Reddit is going to be like, it was a nice 3 days without hearing Keith McPherson show. 888-808-1019. Let's go to Brent all the way in Missouri on the Fan in New York.
Happy early Father's Day. But I actually made it out to the game tonight in KC. I'm from Jersey, but made a quick pivot. Head back to Lincoln, Nebraska, almost home, so thanks for entertaining me for the long drive. I kind of got an oddball question for you, just with the long drive. So if the Yankees could take the mentality of maybe like a current or former player to kind of push through the rest of the season into the postseason, who would that guy be?
If they could get a what kind of player?
A current or former, like old timer or whatever. Like if there's one player you kind of epitomize to push, make this final push, rest of the second half into the postseason to get a better rebound from last season, who would that player be?
Garrett Cole. No, give me A-Rod at third base. Imagine A-Rod at third base, or just magically pop up right now.
I'd love to imagine.
Yeah, or Garrett Cole, another like an ace. Maybe Andy Pettit, Mariano, so that we can move Weaver down, move Devin Williams down, and put Mariano in the closer spot. Yeah, those would be the three. Give me Garrett Cole, A-Rod, and Mariano, and let's ride.
Love it, man. No, thanks for the great JJ. Appreciate it.
Now, before you go, Brent, you drove from Jersey out to Kauffman Stadium just for this series?
Nah. So I was out in all over Iowa, Nebraska. I was in Omaha. I ended up, I would have flew back tonight, but there's just no connecting flights to get back to Newark. Newark
So you're driving because there's no flights, but you went out there specifically to see the Yankees. You're not at school. You're not out there for work.
It was for work. No, it was for work.
It's for work.
And, I couldn't fly back tonight, so I actually had no idea that it was a 2.5-hour trip to KC. I know it's a good trip.
Yeah, that's a great ballpark. That's one I haven't been to yet, and they have plans to build a new ballpark. I would like to get out there to the K before they start the new place up, or before they pack that place up and make the new spot.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, you could kind of tell it's old, but honestly, like they definitely kept up with it. So even with the little rain delay when the sky broke, like it was a beautiful night.
Thanks for the call, man. Drive safe. Appreciate it. Yeah, Kauffman Stadium, I was supposed to go in 2014 because it was Giants Royals in the World Series, and part of the MLB fan cave was that at the end, you spend the whole season in the MLB fan cave, and then the cave dwellers go to the World Series wherever it was. But here's the plot twist. The year before I was in, the fan cave was like Survivor style, where people were getting sent home, voted off, like, little by little. So the group of 8 cave dwellers like shrunk down to just 2 in 2013. Fast forward to 2014, my year, they decide to do it more like a real world where like we're literally casted by MTV. We live in the cave. We stay together, but MLB still had a little bit of an itch to like get some of us out of there. So my boy Caesar, the Marlins fan, got sent home in June. And then myself and Dan, one of my best friends, Mets fan, we got sent home in October. I remember it was October 7th for some stuff that I won't talk about on air. But I felt like they sent us home because all they had to do was put us in a car service and not fly us home. And it was cost effective for them to just be like, okay, now we only have to take 4 of the cave dwellers, because my boy Ben, who is a Boston Red Sox fan, he went home on his own merit, I believe, in July. So, yeah, I would have been able to see Kauffman Stadium. I would have been able to go out to San Francisco as well if I didn't get aborted from the fan cave. But it worked out for me. Ed is in Lindenhurst on the fan. What's up, Ed?
Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Good. Hanging out. Taking calls.
Yeah. I figured. Listen, the first thing I want to tell you is I definitely am going to co-sign that application on that statement you made before with the Yankees. I hope Cashman somehow in the trade gets another starter, bro. Because listen, I like Rodon, but with Garrett Cole being out, I don't trust him, man.
You can't because of Sunday Night Baseball. He was rolling, and then we get into Sunday Night Baseball, and it's a reminder like he's just not like that. He's had a better year with the beard, but like I don't know. I don't trust him in a big spot.
I don't trust him in a big spot either. So my question to you is this: in your opinion, who's out there? Who would you get?
Zach Gallen. They're talking about Merrill Kelly, but Merrill Kelly's not like that. Zach Gallen, Sandy Alcantara, if the price is low and Matt Blake and them think they can fix him.
Okay.
There was one other name too. But it's got to be an ace type guy or a guy that you feel like you can pitch in a big spot in October.
Yeah, because Jacob DeGrom, I'll tell you right now, he's not going up.
DeGrom is another one, but I don't think they're moving DeGrom. And not to the Yankees. They'll try and hold the Yankees up. They're going to want top prospect. They're going to want George Lombard Jr. or something. Dylan Cease is another name that's been out there. But I think Cashman will be more inclined to add bullpen depth, and then we'll see what Luis Heel looks like when he comes back. I don't know. I don't have the answers.
I got you. And then the last thing I want to say is this, man. I got to say this. about my fellow Yankee fans, man. We need to stop already with Juan Soto. Listen, he's done. He's a memory for us. You know what I'm saying? Listen, he did what he did last year for us. We're grateful. But you know what? They need to stop hemming and hawing about Juan Soto. You know, like I said, he's a memory for us. And, you know, we just need to move forward and stop talking about rehash in the past with this guy. And I'll be honest with you, I'm going to co-sign this application with you on that one. I'm ecstatic that he's struggling right now. He's not being the man that he's
Well, he's back now. He's balling now, but I think it's the Met fan that wants the Yankee fan to be like, oh man, look at Juan Soto. Like, we are not longing for Juan Soto anymore. We're good. We're off that. Thanks for the call, Ed. Like, and like, hit refresh on you guys' information. Juan Soto is balling. Juan Soto is looking like Juan Soto now, and I told y'all this. I know people don't listen to my show every night. Some of you do, and thank you for that. Like, I literally said, when June comes, he's making a push for the All-Star. Juan Soto's not trying to miss All-Star. He's going to get the votes, and his numbers are going to be good enough. I also said it's going to get warm. Remember Juan Soto out in the rain in Minnesota with the hood up? Like, nobody wants to play in those conditions. And also, he had to get over the mental hurdle of going back to Yankee Stadium. That is almost a month ago now. Scott Boras even talked about, it was something that he had to get over. MLB put this out 13 hours ago. In Juan Soto's last 12 games, his batting average is .390. His OPS is 1374. He's got 5 homers, 13 walks, and 15 runs. That is Juan Soto. He's back to form. He's smiling. He's posing in the dugout. He's a Met. I don't think that, and I can't speak for all Yankee fans, and some of them are still doing it. Like, I know, shout out to John and Masbeth. John and Masbeth is still, like, on the trail of, like, trolling and getting at Juan Soto and cherry picking stats. But I think for the most part, majority of Yankee fans are like, okay, we got our pound of flesh May 16th, 17th, and 18th. Have fun with that. We've got other things to worry about. Our own lineup, rotation, and bullpen. So when I hear Sal get on talking about, oh, it's even sweeter because Yankee fans, I'm like, what Yankee fans are you talking about, my boy? Where is this? Are we trying to manufacture this? Because I don't feel like that at all. I'm not on that at all. I'm on Boston. I didn't even care about this last game of the Royals series today because I'm like, they haven't beat us. And we just swept the Royals with Pablo Reyes scoring a winning run. Great. Now on to Boston and get some redemption there. My guy Moose calls the fan every time I'm on. What's up, Moose? You're back.
Here, Keith. What it do?
What up?
I gotta troll you a little bit because before the season started, you had concerns about the Yankees this season. Understood, because Plan B is not Juan Soto, and I'm not. And I was the first person to say, remember I called you sometime in May, my first call to you on your show. I told you, regardless of signing Soto, the Yankees' financial sustainability is more at stake without even considering signing Soto because we had holes to fill. So, and look at that. How many wins are we on pace to win? How many games are we on pace to win this season?
100? I don't know.
Something ridiculous with 2 all-star potential starters. Well, 2 all-star pitchers with a sub 2.5 ERA, and 2 closers, 1 injured, 1 with his second save of a 1-0 game. The other closer has the other 2 saves. So, not to troll you again, but I'm never worried. I'm not necessarily trolling you. I'm just
you're relitigating things, and I know what I said, and I do this online and on air every day. I said we needed another bat when Stanton wasn't ready to go, when Cole went down, when Heel went down. I'm like, this is not great. But did I know what Trent Grisham was going to turn into? No, he had a hamstring in spring training. I liked what Ben Rice did in spring training. I didn't know it was going to translate from spring training into the regular season. It has. Paul Goldschmidt, man, I from the beginning, I didn't want Christian Walker. I was saying Paul Goldschmidt is the answer. He's still there. But, like, the pitching, man, we were supposed to trade Marcus Stroman. Marcus Stroman started this year. Will Warren was depth. We had Carlos Carrasco in the starting rotation. Ryan Yarbrough was with the Blue Jays. Like, that's what I love about baseball. You can't predict baseball. Nobody could know. But you know what I did know and trust? That the Yankees and the business of the Yankees is winning and figuring out ways to win. And I knew they were going to win. But I want to win the World Series.
Yes, and we may not be the proverbial favorites, but I'm not going to use the crapshoot excuse for the postseason. But if we were to trade for another top-notch pitcher and maybe get an infield bat right-handed, you never know what can happen. But I'll leave you with this, right? The next time, whether it be when Stanton's contract comes up and Volpe is the all-star, or we have to move on from him, and we're sort of in this, where do we go from now? The next time this happens, because we had this little lull between the last time we got to the ALCS in 2012 till about 2016, where we weren't that relevant, right? But the next time this happens, trust that Brian Cashman has been doing this for nearly 20 years. He never got fired. Yes, he may have a job for life, but the reason is he technically knows what he's doing. He eats, breathes, drinks, sleeps, wakes up, baseball, and all the stuff that makes it the Yankees the Yankees. Thanks for taking my call, Pete.
Yeah, our eternal GM in Cash we trust. Listen, I'm a Yankee fan the whole way. I'm always rocking with the Yankees. I always believe they can win and whatever. But it's bigger than that. Like, not for nothing, the American League is not impressive. They should be in first place in the AL East. They should be, winning 7 series in a row, 9 out of 11 series. It's deeper than that, though. You know it and I know it. I went to the World Series last year. It is burned into my memory what happened in that 5th inning. I was sitting in row 5 in section 133. I want to get back there and erase that. As the Yankees were presently constituted in spring training, I'm like, this isn't a World Series team. But I believe so now. I mean, I believe they can get back there now. But they still need more. Cashman, stack the deck. Go all in and add more. There's an article floating around from ESPN. It's a good article. It came on my feed through Instagram, and there's a quote card. And in the quote card, it reads, "You got to make sure you sit with the young guys and tell them about the Yankee way." That's Aaron Judge to Anthony Rizzo on teaching the younger players what it means to be a Yankee. The Yankee way is you either win a World Series or you're a failure. Rizzo to Judge on expectations of being a Yankee. "You're damn right," Judge responds to Rizzo, knowing the Yankee way. Well, Rizzo's not on this team. And that 5th inning, Rizzo didn't cover first base. And so now we've got Judge, who I've been saying since last year is a father now. And this article goes into detail about Judge, who I commend Judge, Aaron Judge, and Samantha Judge. They have a 6-month-old, about to be a 6-month-old baby. And they, according to this report, don't have a nanny or a night nurse. And they just are taking care of this baby and dealing with the, sleepless nights and stuff like that. And I just saw a post from Judge with Ralph Lauren Polo. Shout out to them. They sent me his new cologne and whatnot. And he's talking about, life and how different it is with his daughter, Nora. And I think he's a changed man. I think he's a changed man through losing in the World Series, dropping that pop-up, having a child, being a father, and just going through these different life experiences where I really do believe as he's, flirting with batting 400 and winning the Triple Crown, like, this guy's going to be different in October, but we got to get him there and got to have other guys around him. And I think that right now, knock on wood, if these guys stay healthy, they have the guys, and we'll see who comes out of the National League. But if I'm Cashman, who I just said, the Yankees' eternal GM, and Cash we trust, man, I'm stacking the deck. I need another starter, and I need another right-handed bat, preferably one that can play third base, so we can move Jazz back to second or second base and Jazz continue at third. And once you get into a series, and I really think these guys, after the experience of losing in the World Series the way they did, where they were 1 foot in the air thinking they were going back to Cali, like, I think that's going to wear on these guys and stay with these guys where I don't care who it is. It could be the Mets, it could be the Dodgers, it could be the Padres, the Giants, the Cubs. Like, I think they've got a shot. I think they've got a shot at winning it this year, and that's the goal. It's bigger than that. I don't hit refresh on your information. I don't care what we were talking about in February, March, April, or May. It's June now. It's mid-June now. The Yankees are in first place. The Mets are in first place, and you guys can talk Subway Series if you want. I don't know. Last time the Subway Series happened, I was in 5th grade. Like, a lot has to go right for that to happen, and that'd be great for the city and all. But like, I'm a Yankee fan. I want the Yankees to get to the World Series. I'm a Yankee fan. I want the Yankees to make the right moves. I'm a Yankee fan. I want Judge, right? As Judge is in this article talking about the Yankee way, and Rizzo talking about, well, either you win a World Series or you're a failure. Well, Riz, you're a failure. But Judge, like, this can be the year that you get it done. This could be the year that, like, you win a triple crown and propel the Yankees through October to win the World Series. It could change a lot of things, man. It could change everything. Let's go to John in Huntington on the Fan next. Hello, John.
Easy with that. Riz is a failure. That's my last name too. So that's just
John Rizzo. What are the chances that I pick you?
Rizzy. It's Rizzy.
Oh, Rizzy. Yeah, I'm just saying. He's got a quote in this ESPN article about you're a failure if you don't win the World Series. I'm like, well, Riz, you lost in the World Series. You didn't cover first, my boy.
You're damn right. You have cracked me up before because you hit on something. But this is the first time in my life that the Mets haven't latched on to something like some weird grimace or.
They don't need it. They're good. They just latch on to being good at baseball. Latch on to you have the richest owner. You have a smart president of baseball operations. You have a high-ass payroll. You have superstar. Latch on to okay, we don't need anything else to make up why we're good. We're just good.
Yeah, it's and for as much as I love the Yankees, I hate the Mets, and it's it is just I don't know what it is.
I understand.
It drives me nuts, and they're so good it makes me angry. It's they don't lose. Every pitcher they find turns into a Cy Young guy. It's just I don't know what happened to them, where they found this stuff.
Well, John, wait for it, because if you feel that way, what you want is for the Mets to run and win the National League East and be the #1 seed, and then come crashing down in October.
My sister wants them to make the World Series. I want them to lose as fast as possible. I need the disappointment for them. I need it drives me.
So let them run through the whole summer and their hopes and dreams. Yeah. Let them get so high on themselves, and then when October comes and it's a new season and none of that stuff matters, they lose in the DS. It's gonna feel great.
That is what I am hoping for. But one thing I was where did he how many 1-0 games are they gonna win?
The Yankees?
I
love it.
A lot of them.
They've won 4, and in the last 3 years, they've won 3, I think. I think that was the stat that he put. 3 times. It took 3 times in 3 years for them to win a 1-run game. This year, they've done that 4 times, which that's why earlier I'm like, however you want it. A 10-run game, 1-run game, the Yankees can win it.
Yeah, they all count the same. But yeah, I find it remarkable. And then again, was it Will Warren tonight? Because I remember I went on that rant.
It was Will Warren, and even after the rain delay, they pulled Seth Lugo when they brought the tarp out, and they brought Will Warren back out, and then Tim Hill, and I mean they shut him down tonight. And I think what it is, the Royals are playing some young guys, and the Royals just know, you want to talk about mentally being defeated against the team. The Royals know.
Even too.
They even going back to last year, they cannot beat the Yankees. They know it. We know it. Everybody knows it.
18-2 in their last 20 games in Kansas City.
Yeah, why even put your cleats on and go out there and try? I said hell.
So yeah, it's just it's been fun so far this year. It's definitely been fun for them.
Thanks for the call, John. Much more fun to be had. And that's why I'm not trying to jump to October. That's why I'm not trying to do this back and forth with Mets fans and Yankees fans. We don't need to do it every single day. We can wait until July 4th, 5th, and 6th, right? Isn't that when the Subway Series hits Queens? Yes, the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th. congrats on signing Juan Soto. He's a great player. I'm glad that you're starting to see the player that we got to watch last year. It doesn't make me lose sleep at night at all. I lost sleep at night over the Red Sox series. Hunter Dobbins, bro. This Hunter Dobbins kid lied. He had false claims. This guy literally came up with the and then he got on camera, right? So he made up this whole thing about hating the Yankees and he'd retire if the Yankees offered him a contract and that was the last team. And he said it was because his father was twice drafted by the Yankees and then signed after the second selection and then was traded to the Diamondbacks. And then the people at the New York Post went and did some digging and research and they're like, that's cap. That's big cap, homie. Why'd you lie? Why'd you make that up? And then he got in front of cameras and said, oh, these are stories and things I heard as a kid and I don't fact check my dad. Well, maybe you should have before you tell these journalists who all they do is go fact check information. We'll play some audio from this kid. He's gonna pitch this weekend. I hope he gets rocked at home. Father's Day weekend. I hope his pops is in attendance. It's like he told an Aesop fable. This guy told a fib. He told a white lie, and it turned into this whole thing where like, oh, it's the rivalry, and Jazz was like, okay, free smoke, and Judge smacked them, and everybody heard about it once it was Sunday Night Baseball. But why'd you make all that up, man? For some attention? For just to add some juice to the rivalry? You thought people weren't gonna check on that? And now he's on like a press tour. I saw he was on Foul Territory. We'll play what he had to say on Foul Territory. He's still feeding into it. These young boys, man. I don't even know what they call this generation, the youngest generation out there now. Gen Z? I guess he'd be Gen Z. He wouldn't be the youngest generation. I think he's like 20 something, but I thought that was corny. And so now there's some get back, right? There's got to be some payback for that. They weren't able to get him, like, he got the win on Sunday Night Baseball, but this weekend you gotta go smack him. You gotta smack him and his pops for him falsifying claims about the Yankees drafting his dad and how they treated his dad. And I hate the Yankees. Oh, just say you hate the Yankees, bro. Don't make up all that other stuff. And then also, don't miss out on an opportunity later in your career when you might be on your last leg. And the Yankees, they love scooping up bargain bin, trash heap guys. You might be on the clearance rack and the Yankees will scoop you, but not anymore. Now they're gonna look at you and say, "Nah, we're good." Not Hunter Dobbins. Anybody but Hunter Dobbins. All right, let's take a break here. I've got some calls, but I'm running out of time. I do want to play the audio from Hunter Dobbins on Foul Territory talking about this. And then I'm going to read some more from the Judge article. I know he's a changed man, and I would love for this to be the year. Like his daughter is born. He wins the Triple Crown, the MVP, and leads the Yankees to the World Series and a World Series victory. That would be a storybook year for the captain, Aaron Judge. Keith McPherson on the Fan. Dial 888-808-1019. I'm running out of time. Don't go anywhere because we're coming right back.
You're juggling work, love,
Okay, so I found the Hunter Dobbins audio. I'm gonna play that when we come back from Foul Territory. Send it to Fleegs. I just emailed you the Hunter Dobbins interview from Foul Territory. Let me see if there's anything else from this Judge article. That was my recommendation with Stanley. They should proceed with caution when he gets back in hands. Okay, let's see. I'm just reading this. I'm reading this Judge article now, a little deeper. There was a part that I wanted to share from it, not just the baby stuff.
Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Meet Viant AI, the world's first fully autonomous advertising platform. With Viant AI, you can automate media planning, analyze results, and drive smarter decisions, all while saving you time and resources. Viant AI helps you unlock new potential and boost productivity, regardless of your expertise. Visit Viant.ai today and see how
Summer's all about great music. Switch to Fido's 1 gig internet and get the JBL Party Box on us. Take your favorite music to the beach, the backyard, or wherever, and enjoy amazing sound with 6 hours of playtime. Plus, you also get a $200 Verizon gift card that you can use to pay your bill and more. And enter for your chance to win 2 tickets to Verizon Fido's Concerts in the City, featuring Alex Warren live on September 8th in NYC. Enjoy epic vibes and intimate concert experience.
Okay, this goes back. Am I in slow motion? I was reading. That's what I'm always doing. I'm always reading different things. Let's see. Judge, he's been thinking about the future lately. His daughter has unlocked a new part of him. Part of him is excited. She'll get to see him be Aaron Judge, to see him in the full glory of his powers. But he also looks forward to a time when his children are his focus and not baseball. So that's alluding to him having more than one kid. Hopefully I'm coaching a softball team. I'll read all this when we get back. You guys heard about Antonio Brown? What's crazy with the AB stuff is that there was like a live stream video on Twitter like the night that it all happened. What's good, Keith? Yankees winning 1-0 games now. Their defense has improved dramatically. They would lose these games last year. As for the Mets, they are on one for real. Yes, it's a good time. We should be celebrating both these teams. We should be talking about both these teams independently, but we can't ever do that. All right, back to the radio audio.
And I'm right back. Like I said, I'd be back. Keep McPherson on the fan. Before we went to break, I was talking about Hunter Dobbins, goofy ass, and how he basically took a lie that his dad told him, an old bedtime story that his pops made up, and told it to the world. And he said, I didn't fact check my dad, but now he's on a little press tour. So here is Hunter Dobbins today on Foul Territory talking to AJ Pierzynski ahead of him pitching against the Yankees, seeing the Yankees again this upcoming weekend.
I got to ask you this about your father. Is there anything you want to clear up? Because I want to know what happened here, because I don't know. I mean, is there anything with your dad that, I don't know, there's fact checking going on and all kinds of stuff. What do you want to say about this?
I mean, I addressed it yesterday. It is what it is. They're trying to find stuff that happened in the early 90s and, lower level minor league baseball. So it's like, I don't care what they say. I've never really cared what the media 2 hours south of here says anyways. So at the end of the day, it hasn't fazed me at all. I'm just ready to go for Saturday.
What did your dad say? What did he say? Have you talked to him and said, hey, Dad, this is going on. What do I do here? Or you're like, yeah, it's my dad. I love him. I don't care. Father's Day is on Sunday. I'm going to pitch great on Saturday for you.
It's been more of that. I don't even care enough to even bring it up. I mean, it's like, at the end of the day, he's my dad. I'm ready to go on Saturday, enjoy Father's Day with him on Sunday, and I could not care less.
Hunter Dobbins, ladies and gentlemen. This guy says he never cared too much about what the media 2 hours sound like. What a clown. What a whole clown. The Yankees got to embarrass him. And they got to get his dad on the broadcast. Yo, just own up to it, bro. He's talking about they're trying to find stuff from the early 90s as if they're talking about, I don't know, 1910. It's not hard for them to look it up, bro. Like, it's not hard for them to call you out on that. Just say that you took a story that you thought was truth and you ran with it, and come to find out was your pops even drafted? Did your pops play? And anyway, 888-808-1019. From the Judge article, I'll hit you with these last little pieces, man. With Judge and his daughter and his future kids. So there's a quote, and shout out to Wright Thompson, who wrote this whole article. It's a great article. If you're a Yankee fan, go to ESPN and look for Wright Thompson's article on Aaron Judge and the pride of the Yankees. So in this quote, it says, he's been thinking about the future lately. His daughter has unlocked a new part of him. Part of him is excited she'll get to see him be Aaron Judge, to see him in the full glory of his powers. But he also looks forward to a time when his children are his focus and not baseball. So, as much as people say Judge is Jeter-like, he has a child, and he's alluding to having children, having multiple kids before he's done. Also, if you're listening to the game, I think 2 days ago, Judge was asked about, his contract, and he said, I signed a 9-year contract, and how he plans on playing that whole 9 years and being a big part of the Yankees. And there's probably got to be even more motivation to do so because he wants his daughter to be, in elementary school watching him play. So he goes on to say, hopefully I'm coaching a softball team. I think the biggest thing I look forward to is just getting a chance to spend time with my family and getting to lay low. So Judge plans on, disappearing and laying low, but he's got to win a championship. He knows it. As great as he is, he has to win. Aaron Judge takes being team captain seriously. When a non-starter invitee ends up in spring training with no chance to make the big league club, Judge will make sure to welcome him to the Yankees and thank him for his contribution. He learned the code of the game from Brett Gardner and CC Sabathia, and that's my segue back into Soto. Because we'll never know what Judge did for Soto, welcoming Soto in as a guy that got traded to the team, as a guy that's going to hit in front of him.
right? We'll never know what little gestures and maybe dinners or connections, because that's what Judge does. Like JP Sears told the story about Judge taking care of his whole family before his first start, like him paying for his whole family's dinner in New York City and showing up to the dinner. So who knows what Judge did for Soto? They probably had somewhat of a relationship, but I think Soto moved on and was just like, yeah, thanks, buddy, but see you on the other side. Dave is in Rockland County on the Fan next. What's up, Dave?
Okay, thanks for taking my call. Yeah, I just wanted to say to all you Mets fans, get over the fact that us Yankee fans got over Juan Soto originally. We got over him. He's yours.
Don't need him. Replaced him.
Don't need him.
For less. A lot less money. And, like, don't want to keep going back and forth with you on congrats. Enjoy.
Second of all, phenomenal game today. Only 1-0. It was a bit upsetting. Why Boone decided to punt this game, I have no clue.
But we won.
You won, but why did he leave Judge out of the lineup?
Because, and this is how I justified it, 16 games in a row without an off day. The Royals hadn't beat the Yankees all season. They swept them the first time. They were on the precipice of sweeping them tonight, and they did. And Judge was going crazy, and they're going to look out for the big guy. And he did get an at bat, so it wasn't a complete off day.
Right, true, but like he's on a hot streak now, and who knows? He's on a hot streak of hitting homers a couple of days in a row.
They want him ready for Boston. Got to get ready for Beantown. Also, he doesn't have great numbers against Seth Lugo. So my thought also was like, oh, maybe he's dodging. Maybe they're having him dodge Seth Lugo, and maybe they had a thought that Seth Lugo was gonna go out there and shove.
Listen, he's got to light up that Dobbins guy.
Definitely got to light up Dobbins. I mean, he already has. But they got to attack this guy. They got to embarrass this guy. This guy came out and said all that he said about the Yankees and never wanted to be a Yankee. Then we come to find out that he was lying about his dad's history and the whole origin of his hate for the Yankees. It's just dumb. It's like, definitely got to embarrass this dude.
And one last thing. I don't think the Yankees should go after Luis Robert Jr.
I don't think they actually are, but I don't hate the idea.
Me neither. So we have infielders. I'm saying, obviously, goodbye Pablo Reyes, basically.
Yeah, but 88 is available. The Yankees don't have a lot of numbers available. 88 is available. He wears number 88. I could see him in center field. That lineup would be crazy with Luis Robert. Thanks for the call, Dave. 888-808-1019. I don't hate the idea. I don't think they're going to do it, though. But I do think, like, if you go out and get Luis Robert, you trade Trent Grisham somewhere. Luis Robert could keep his chin strap. Luis Robert is one who has a beard, no mustache. And now the Yankees have beards. I could see it. I wouldn't be against it. What's the price? What are they looking for? What are the White Sox looking for? They need a right-handed bat in the infield. They need a right-handed bat. Is it Eugenio Suarez? I'm down for that too. Back to the phone. Ryan in East Islip is on the Fan next as my time is expiring. What's up, Ryan?
McNasty. What up?
You know.
All right, I got two questions for you. First things first. You know I'm going to bring it up. Soto's hot streak. I got another one before you get into it. Evan Roberts today on Evan and Tiki brings up that they potentially sat Aaron Judge just to avoid Lugo. I want to hear what you think about that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if I could pull up his numbers, I think it was just a good spot. I think that might have been 20% of the logic. Yeah, Aaron Judge is 1 for 11 when I go to StatMuse, 1 for 11 with 5 strikeouts, 0.91 average. So it's like, hey, let's not have you go 0 for 4 potentially against Lugo or 0 for 3 against Lugo. let's give you a rest day in the 16 straight days. We could probably beat them without you, which they did. Like, I didn't mind it at all. You got to pick your spots. I think it was a good spot for them. And they talked about Meredith Marakovich before the game said that this was scheduled before the series started. And Judge propositioned Boone and said, what if I homer the first 2 games of the series? If I homer the first 2 games of the series, yeah, will you let me rock in the 3rd game? And he still didn't let him rock. So whatever. I'm not, as much as I love watching Judge play and I'm happy Judge is on the Yankees, I want the Yankees to win. They won the game. If they would have lost the game and Judge didn't really, have enough at bats to impact the game, then it'd be a different story. But they won 1-0. So Boone wins. Boone looks right in this decision to get the big guy off his feet before we go into Boston. And dodge Seth Lugo. So we didn't get to see like Seth Lugo drop his average down.
You really think Judge at this point is dodging 20%?
Judge is not ducking any smoke. But I think maybe 20% of factoring in this spot to give him a rest was the day's starting pitcher.
All right. And then just put it out. You got to bring it up. Soto, the hot streak. What do you think? Does it end? Does it continue? What do you got?
No, we've only just begun. Like, this is Soto now actually shuffling. This is Soto now actually going the other way. This is Soto now, like, actually looking at Mackenzie Gore and showing him up and feeling some type of way. Shout out to my guy, Lou Goodman. He said Ron Darling condemned Juan Soto during the Mets game the other day for disrespecting the pitcher after hitting a home run. Like, this is Juan Soto getting his swagger back. This is Juan Soto now adjusting into his forever home as a Met. This is Juan Soto a month after going in the Yankee Stadium and those same fans and faces that loved him turned on him. Like, this is Juan Soto accepting the full-on, like, Metness and him being the highest paid player and him finally, like, the weather being warmer and him finally getting back to being who he is because he wants to be an all-star. He doesn't want to miss a trip to Atlanta in the all-star game. He's locked in. He's dialed in.
You got that Rocky pill. You think that's what did it?
I don't know if I just think it's just baseball. I just think that it was an adjustment period. I think that the weather plays a part in it. And like I said, he knows he's at every all-star game. He wants to be an all-star. He's got to pick it up. I don't know what else I can attribute it to. I don't think there's any type of pills or any type of magic elixir that he took. I just think it took time. He still, it wasn't like, it's because it's Juan Soto. We act like if he's not hitting home runs or extra base hits, like he's struggling. He still leads the league in walks, I believe. He's still seeing the ball really well. Like, he's still Juan Soto, bro. It's like, that's what I used to say last year. It's Juan Soto, bro. And he's still Juan Soto. He's got 56 walks to lead all baseball.
You're the man, Fierce, man. I appreciate you taking the call. I'll talk to you soon, all right?
You got it, Ryan. 888-808-1019. Ryan, one of the only Met fans that consistently calls my show. I don't hate the Mets. And I don't hate Mets fans. There's definitely some clowns online, though. Like, I retweeted something today that I didn't even see in real time. And, like, yo, at me. That's the thing about me. Like, I troll and I do all that. But, like, I'll give you the juice, right? If you're gonna take the time to make an AI video and take my face and put it on some girls that are catching, like, Oscar Mayer wieners and then write all this stuff, and you've only got 2,000 followers, don't write my name out and then have people tag me in the comments because I didn't see it. And, like, I'm not flexing, but my Twitter all day, I'm getting notifications and tagged and things, so I miss that. And I have a life. I'm not on Twitter all day. But this dude made this video. I thought it was hilarious. And I'm like, wow, they took all this time on AI. It's definitely creepy, too, because it's got, like, my face superimposed on these, like, girls or whatever. But it's like, where's Keith McPherson? Because, there are some Met fans that, like, when I troll the Met fans online, they want to get their lick back. Like I'm saying, they want to get their get back. It doesn't work like that. But what I'm saying is, at me, I'll give you. I retweeted it. It went from having 27,000 views, and now as I look at it, it's got 42.2. But you're not verified on Twitter, so you're not even getting paid off that. I get paid off Twitter. I get a check every couple weeks from Elon. it's paid for itself 10 times over. And a lot of the juice that I get comes from trolling Met fans, Subway Series, Juan Soto. Like the most money I made when I looked at my analytics was like leading up to the Subway Series, Soto struggling. My reach, my impressions was like 4 million. So it's all a game to me. And if you want to play the game, at me, and I'll amplify your post by sharing it with my audience. I don't like none of this stuff bothers me. None of this stuff, like all this stuff, is fun and games. It's entertainment. It's sports. But I just think it's off base. Like Juan Soto succeeding against the Rockies in the Nationals, and you think like Keith McPherson is somewhere like punching air. No, I'm not. I'm like, congrats. Good. We knew he was going to hit. We knew he was going to come around at some point. And I'm not worried about Juan Soto, having a revenge game against the Nationals. Like, why would I be? I'm a Yankee fan and a New York sports radio host. Just sometimes I know when to troll. Sometimes it's just nothing there. 888-808-1019. Last call goes to Bobby in Matawan, home of the Huskies.
What's happening, Keith?
Bringing it home. Another one in the books.
I spent a lot of time away from the New York area. I was in the military. And, my nickname was New York, so I always rooted for the New York teams. And, I just, it bothers me that people, I'm a Mets fan, obviously, and it bothers me that, all the Yankee fans, they're so disheveled about the Soto signing with the Mets, and, they're so bothered about how the Mets are doing well and yada, yada, yada. None of it means a hill of beans until either the Mets and the Yankees meet in the World Series somewhere, and then Soto comes up to bat and either he hits a home run or he strikes out, right? And then who feels good about that? One side or the other, right? So
yeah. I don't. For me, Bobby, it's like I don't get it. Because as a baseball fan, baseball is every single day. And if you're a Yankee fan, I don't know how you're not consumed with the day-to-day with your own team. We have seen plenty of players come and go. And I like that Juan Soto added some juice to the rivalry, but I'm not worried about the Mets until July 3rd. I'm not worried about Juan Soto. I'm not even worried. I'm not worried.
I'm a Mets fan, but I've always respected good players. I've always respected the Yankees. I've rooted for the Yankees. When they're playing against Boston, Derek Jeter, fantastic player.
Thanks for the call, Bobby. We're out of time. I had to kick my narrative about you're not getting any Yankee tears off of Juan Soto's success against the Rockies and the Nationals. And if you think it's sweeter that Juan Soto's turned it around in mid-June and that I don't know what Yankee fans you talk to. I don't know what Yankee fans are in your group chat. They got to be casuals. We're good on that. We got the best player in the game. Anyway, I'm out of here, man. You guys have a good weekend. C-Max coming up next. Thanks for listening to my show. Keith McPherson, out. Sports Radio.